What is going on, YouTube? Lamont Dorsey at large. Today coming to you from Taunton, Massachusetts. We're about an hour outside of Boston. Supposedly these people out here say that the weather is really good, and it is. It's about 57, 58 degrees. It's going to get cold really quick. This weekend is going to be 29 degrees at night. Oh boy, I'm prepared for that. So this is a little bit of a behind the scenes of what I do on practically a daily basis. So my friend, my bestie Scarlett, had given me an idea for a story about a woman named Jane Topin. You probably don't even know who she is, but basically she was a female serial killer who was active in the area between the years of, I believe, 1885 and 1901. Basically, this woman had a pretty hellish existence. Mental illness, to say the least, was a constant in her life. And basically, she was born to Irish immigrants, and her father was a drunkard. I believe her father's name was Robert Kelly, something like that. And he was again, like I said, an alcoholic, and they would call him Kelly the Crack. And her mother died of tuberculosis when she was just a little girl. So basically at the end of his parenting skills, he didn't know what to do anymore. So he took his daughters. She had an older daughter named Delia. So when Jane was 6, the father took them to a orphanage there in Boston, and she was basically raised by a family. She became, I guess you would say, an indentured servant. Originally, her name that she had when she was born was Honora Kelly, and so she became a part of the family, the Topin family, and then they changed her name to Jane. Later on in 1885, she became a nurse or a nurse student, and that's kind of when the killing would begin. I'm not going to get too much into detail of the story because I emailed somebody that did a find a grave on this woman, and supposedly I found her grave, so I don't want to tell too much of the story because I usually don't like to tell stories twice because I lose the I just lose the energy for the story. But basically, this woman would go around to whatever hospital she worked at, and she would kill her patients with either an overdose of morphine or or strychnine, or be a combination of atropine and morphine. And eventually she was caught because a family that she was doing work for, I believe it was the Davis family, she had been hired as a nurse to care for Aldine Davis. And she killed him. She killed the daughters of Aldine. And I believe she also killed the wife. And the Davises, they were looking around. They're like, yeah, we don't know about this, bro. So they had one of the sisters, the daughters of Aldine that was killed, exhumed for an autopsy, and they found traces of strychnine. And eventually the police put out a detail of her and started following her and arrested her, charged her with the murders. So they get her into the office or what have you, and they say, okay, what's going on? And eventually she confessed to over 31 murders. And they expect she killed a lot more people than that, but she only confessed to 31. So she went on trial, and she was found not guilty by reason of insanity, and she was sent to the Taunton State Hospital, where she remained until her death in 1938. Now, you see these little grave markers right here, right? So she has one of those. She was buried in a pauper's grave out here at the Mayflower Hill Cemetery. However, the person that did the find a grave, the picture looks like it was taken from this kind of vantage point. However, none of these markers have the number, which would be 981 or 984. So sometimes, you do these videos and you can't find the grave. I've been out here for over an hour, and I like the story. It's a very interesting story, to say the least. I mean, I could always go to the different locations of the hospitals where she committed the murders and stuff like that, but there's a lot of other stories that I want to do in only a limited amount of time. And the way I upload on my schedule, I like to upload between both of my channels practically every day. So it gets kind of frustrating, especially these kinds of stories, because I know really nobody's on YouTube is talking about it, and I like doing stories that nobody has talked about. I don't like doing stories that everybody and their mother has already talked about. You got those those popular YouTubers, the Bailey Sarias, the Kendall Rays. I don't want to talk about any murder that they talked about because they already got 5 million views. I'd rather talk about the cases that people have forgotten. Unusual stories. I like going to the location. I don't like talking about it in my van or my trailer. It seems kind of weird. However, I know I got that other channel, YouTube's Most Wanted, and I don't know, man. I've been thinking about turning that into like kind of like a crime channel where I just talk about crime per se. But I don't know, I'm stretched in with channels. I barely have enough time to upload on the BB channel or the review channel. But the YouTube's Most Wanted, I mean, originally when I made that, it was supposed to be basically quick unsolved murders that happened at locations. So it would be a quick unsolved murder, 2 minutes. This guy was killed on this street corner. He was shot and killed. If anybody has any information, please contact your local law enforcement, blah, 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 blah. And as I started to try to do that, I realized like the videos weren't 2 minutes. They were going to be 10 minutes. And then, the grave is involved. And I said, okay, maybe I just better scrap that idea. So we'll figure it out. I never upload on this channel, so I thought I kind of upload kind of, what my day is like. I go to these cemeteries. It's the weather's kind of warm, but then when that wind comes down, boy, I need some gloves big time. See this kid right here. He's not a kid. He's 30 years old. He died 3 days before he was turned 30. So I guess he was a skateboarder. Skateboarding and rollerblading prohibited. I guess this guy was grinding on rails. All right. And normally when I do these videos, I often look for graves, like newer graves. But sometimes I'll be in a cemetery. I just uploaded the cemetery that I was at in West Virginia. I was there the first day, almost 6 hours. The second day, another 2. I mean, those videos are very time consuming. That's why I don't do a lot of them. And it's not that I don't enjoy doing them. The problem is, if you get me in a cemetery, just the time flies. You're going up to this grave, or you're going up to a grave of somebody that was born in 1890, they died in 1955, and you just kind of start looking. You go on Ancestry.com or Newspapers Archive, and then next thing you know, you were at a grave for 10 minutes. There's hundreds of graves. You get what I'm saying. Time is of the essence. So right now I gotta go. I emailed the lady that created the Find a Grave for that woman. Hopefully I'll be in the area for a week, and if she emails me back, I'll come back and do the story, and I'll do a proper story. I know I pretty much just gave you guys a pretty quick rundown of her story. I mean, there's a lot more to the story than just that. Anyways, I'll put it on Fascinating Graveyard. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, yeah, I should upload on here more often. I just don't know what to talk about on here. I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm not going to talk about my day or what have you. Just every now and then I like to upload a video, kind of show you guys kind of another side of YouTube and me or what have you. Anyways, all right, I'm out of here. I'm probably gonna head up to Waltham right now, maybe vlog an unsolved triple murder. Guys, catch up with y'all later. Peace out.